How's it going, guys? So I wanted to do this video and officially put out there that I am pretty much done planning my through hike of the Arizona Trail, which I hope to be getting on the trail about April 1st. A few last minute things I got to do, which is basically just getting plane tickets and getting together the money to send my resupply boxes. Just so you guys know straight off, I am asking if you're more than willing to donate to help me out to fund this trip. I'd be very, very appreciative of it. It's been a rough year. I know a lot of people have had rough years, and myself included. It's just not been easy, but this is something I really wanted to do for a long time, and it's something I really want to get done before my 30th birthday, which is in September. Just getting something more significant completed would mean a lot to me. So, that being said, I'll leave a link in the description box below on how you can help me out for that. But the main reason of this video is that I wanted to share my loadout for the AZT. I know everybody loves gear videos, and this is one I've been working hard to pare everything down and get together for you to show you. The only thing I don't have is a tarp. That is actually being made for me by Bruce over at Nature Calls. Check out his channel. It's one of the channels I've watched for years and years. Bruce is a really, really great guy. And I don't think a lot of people know that he actually does make tarps for other people. You shoot him a DM, and he'll work with you. He'll get the materials together, and he'll make you a tarp. So I have him making me a tarp. I'm going to do a whole separate video on it, but it's a 7x7 sil poly, zing it for guy lines, and really, really minimalist and ultralight for me. Which I think will be really good for the desert, and it's something different for me. I've used tarps before, but I've never really gone camping with them without a bivvy. So first up, we'll go on what I'm actually going to be wearing on my person. For my footwear, I've got my Ultra Lone Peak 4.5s. We'll see how these hold up. I'm already starting to lose a bit of traction there because they're about a year old. And I do have a slightly older pair of the Ultra 4.0s, which are the mid, like the ankle version, that if those wear out, I can have those sent to me. Socks, I've got a pair of just Wigwam lightweight wool socks. I've got a UV buff. Got a pair of board shorts. These are just Walmart brand board shorts. They were like $7. And then I've got a sun hoodie. This is by Ex Officio. This is their Dorado Hoodie. Normally I use Wrangler or Columbia Silver Ridge, those type of long sleeve shirts, or Columbia has their professional fishing gear line too, which is pretty much the same thing. Excuse me. But I'd seen a lot of people that are doing more desert hikes are moving over to sun hoodies, so I figured it'd be something I'd try out, and I actually really do like it, material wise. And then it's got a breathable yoke in the back, and it's got a hoodie. And Ex Officio makes good stuff. I've actually got one of their, I think it's a Bugs Away, some model of their long sleeve shirt as well, which is really great. And then I'll be wearing this Duncan's hat as well. And I've got my Casio F91W. And I'll be taking my Victorinox Huntsman for my multi-tool. But let's get into the bag itself. So right here I've got, this is the Granite Gear. It's the Mass Drop, which is now Drop. Granite Gear X VC X60, I believe the model is. So it's got a pretty decent back. I've got the frame in it, but I've got the hip belt removed. And I gotta fiddle with it to make sure it's loaded a bit better. I was just getting this together really quick. But to go on top, just to get this out of the way, I finally ditched my Thermarest Z-Lite SOL, I think it's the Thermarest that looks exactly like this. It was about 10 years old, and the reflective part of it was pretty much worn away, and it was bowed from being compressed so much in the middle. So I figured I would give something new a try, and this is the Nemo Switchback. Heard great things about it, so I'll be trying that out. I didn't want to bring a more expensive pad because I hear people pop their pads a lot in Arizona, unless you're in the more alpine region. So decided I would bring a closed cell foam pad instead. Going into, I've got this stretchy expandable pocket here. I've got my water filter, which I went back to the Sawyer Squeeze. Mostly over the past year I've been using the Grail water bottle filter. And before that I had used for a bit, it was the Sawyer S1, which is like the Sawyer bottle, and then it's got a Sawyer Mini on top. Both parts of that system were absolutely horrendous. The bottle itself was horrible, and then I tried just using the Sawyer Mini part of it, and a lot of issues with clogging. So I just went back to the Sawyer, and chose that over the Grail for weight reasons. Poop kit. I've just got toilet paper, hand sani, and a deuce of spades. I've got my GoPro's waterproof housing. That's what I'm shooting on now. And I've got a Audio Technica case housing for it. And then, I actually forgot to throw this. This will probably just go somewhere like that. This is my Pedco Ultrapod grip. I've had this for years and years. You guys have seen this. Still going well. It doesn't work with the waterproof housing because I don't have the right mount for it, but the Sublimeware housing does work for it. So I'll be able to mount it just with the normal housing, and then that housing actually does include a 52 millimeter UV filter, which I don't have on right now. We got my steak bag. This is a Z-Packs steak bag, and inside, again, I wanted to go really fast, really light. So I've got all new steaks for it. Normally I use the MSR Groundhogs, but I've got 4 of these Z-Packs carbon fiber steaks, and then I've got 4 of the 6-inch Vargo titanium shepherd hook, and 1 6.5-inch shepherd's hook, just in case I lose one. So I've got those, and then like I said, that's going to go with the 7x7 Sil Poly tarp that Bruce is making for me. And then down at the bottom, I really debated on bringing this or my what's it called, the dry ducks, Frogtogs. but I figured I would bring this one instead for the features. This is a North Face jacket I've had for the past year or so. I got it on closeout over at REI, but it's Gore-Tex Pack Light, and the reason I brought it over the Frogtogs, it's got the pit zips and a little bit more feature rich, so it's got a bendable brim and stuff like that. And I figured that the features kind of, even though it's only a couple ounces, I figured the features would be a little bit more of an upgrade for me, so I decided to bring that. In the pocket here, I've got a Platypus, a new Platypus 2 liter. Yeah, it's 2 liters. I used my REI dividend to buy some new gear, so I got a brand new one of those, and then the rest of my REI stuff I actually traded in a bunch of gear, and that's how I got my food. I've got a 1 mil polycro, just like a painter's drop cloth, and then I've cut it down to 5x6, so it'll fit under my tarp, and that'll be my ground sheet. And I believe, oh, I've got straps for my trekking poles. I forgot to bring them out. My trekking poles are the Mountain Smith Carbon Light carbon fiber trekking poles. They're okay. They're not the best because I would prefer the locking instead of the twist locks, but they work. They're what I have. So nothing else on the other side except for this right here. This goes to my hydration bladder, which is going to be my primary source of drinking water. So it is a Source hydration bladder, which is the best bladder I found instead of Camelback by far. I actually found that through Grand Thumb, and I really, really love it. So I've got that on the inside pocket, and then I've got, you know, the ability to carry 6 liters if I fill up the Sawyer Squeeze and the Platypus. Plus, this is a 3-liter bladder. So that's really the one worry I had for the desert. I've been to Arizona before, but it was when I was younger. I went to Sedona, and then I went up near Flagstaff, and I believe it's the Hopi Reservation that's up in the corner by Utah. But you can see, so I've got the hydration bladder suspended by the hook up here, and then I can remove this and open it up like you would an Evernew bag to clean it. Or you'll see in a second I have an attachment to where I can just take this bag and dump it directly into the bladder. But on top I've got my Z-Packs food bag, and inside I had to buy a new one of these because my dog ate it. This is a Human Gear Go Bites Duo, I believe it's called, and I chose that over my chose that over my Tokes titanium spoon, just because it's a little bit more compact. And then I got the line to hang the bear bag. Even though there's not a lot of hangs, I figured I'd bring it. Plus, in case something happens to one of my guy lines in the tarp, for whatever reason, I got some extra spare rope. And then this is actually going to be riding on top of my bear bag, but this is a Hilltop Gear Diddy bag. And I've got a bunch of stuff in that. So I'm going to bring more of these, but these are biodegradable compressed wet wipes basically. So you spray a little or pour a little bit of water on them, and it's basically like a wet wipe. But I chose these because they're biodegradable, and I don't have to carry the water weight. Technically, I don't carry additional water weight, and there's no way for them to leak in my bag or anything like that. I've got some Aquaphor Lip Balm. And then, one thing not in there is my Anchor 10,000 milliamp battery, because I'm currently using that. Got a spare kit, crazy glue, some type A patches. This is mostly for my jackets, just in case, and then my trekking poles have duct tape. Spare O-ring for my Sawyer squeeze. I took that out of the Sawyer Mini, and I just bleached it, cleaned it up, and so I've got that in there. I've got my first aid kit, which has a bunch of stuff in there. So I've got some Catadine Micropure MP1. It's like chlorine dioxide tablets, and that's mostly to keep the bladder clean. And if for some reason something were to happen to my Sawyer, I've got the ability to purify at least 6 liters, which is more than enough to get me to a town. I've got a lighter with some Leukotape around there. I've got a spare sports cap. I have some pills, some just generic allergy medicine, some fiber pills, and some extra strength Tylenol, ibuprofen stuff. Antibiotic, alcohol prep pad, gauze pad, and some band-aids. And then I did figure I would bring some of these, so I've got basically one to use before every town, and these are the cooling field towels from Duke Cannon, which I like a lot, so I've got those in there. So, all this in there. And then the other bag I have is basically my electronics. So my Anchor will go in here as well. I might switch it out to a slightly bigger one. This was debatable. I could have brought a really small one, but this has the Qualcomm Quick Charge 3, so it's the most up-to-date one I have, and it's got 2 ports. Since that is not a pass-through direct battery bank, it means I can charge my battery bank and my phone at the same time. I've got an Anchor power cable, and I've got another power cable over here. That one's going to be going with it too, but I'm just using it right now. I have a microfiber cloth to clean both the lens of the camera and my glasses. I have a spare SD card for the GoPro, and I have 2 spare batteries. I've got the little door because the GoPro sound adapter actually just fits better without the door on. And then I've got, I put one of those little silica gel packets in there, and I've got my, this is a Nightcore tip. This is the original version. I've had this for a few years now. 2018 maybe, something around there. 2017. And I actually had to order a new clip so it'll clip onto my head, my hat. But I believe this is 300 something lumens, maybe a little bit more on high. Plenty, and it weighs only like 0.72 ounces. So chose that over my Nightcore NU20 just for weight. Next thing I've got in there, instead of a Nyloflume pack liner, I went with Z-Packs full bag liner. I've still got a lot of space in here. It's a 60 liter pack, and I've basically got about 30 liters free. So just shoved in there, I've got my Arc'teryx Atom LT. Still serving me well. It's getting a bit worn on the sides here. It's starting to rip a little bit, but it's still perfectly serviceable. So, Cookset, something very different from what a lot of ultralight people are doing, because I actually got a bigger one. I have a 550 and I have a 750, but both of those are the taller. And something I've been experimenting with is that the wider base gives me more heating area, and therefore it's more fuel efficient. So in here I've got my, it's a Z-Packs rock bag that goes with the bear kit there. But just pulling double duty, it'll hold my stove, which is my MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe. Heavier than I needed to go. I could have used my BRS, but again, the features I think are more worth it for me because it's pressure regulated, which means I'm going to get a consistent flow, and it has the piezo igniter, which means I don't really have to use my lighter at all, and it's got a lot more wind resistance than the BRS. That's really the one thing I really hated about the BRS, was it has really bad wind resistance. You know, even though that's 2 ounces heavier, I think the pros really outweigh the cons. I've got a little, I just bought these today. It's just cloth-like rags by Intex. And I got this tip from Motivated by Mountains. But it's an extra strength reusable car chamois, or like shop rag. So that'll be to clean off condensation, or clean out my pot, you know, after I rinse it out and stuff. So that was a really good tip from him. And then, like I said, I've got this adapter for my hydration bladder. Sorry, total brain fart. So basically, I just unclip this right here, takes the nozzle out, and put that in there. And without having to take it out of my bag, I can basically screw this on there. It's a little bit easier if I'm... But you basically just shove that on there, and I can force the water into the bladder, which is pretty cool. And I can do that without having to remove it from my backpack. Which actually, I think I'm going to put that in my Diddy bag instead. That's my Cookset. Next, I've got spare clothes. So I've just got that wrapped up in a really cheap, I think it's just Ozark Trail bug net. I've got the Frogtogs Ultralight rain pants for a little bit of extra warmth. I pretty much brought the swim trunks because they dry fast, and I'm not really afraid to get them wet. But that's more for warmth at night, or if I really, really need them, like if it starts snowing or something in the higher elevations, I could put those on. I've got my Sea to Summit Aeros Ultralight pillow, Nike Pro Combat compression pants. Again, that's more for warmth at night. Black Diamond lightweight screen tap gloves. I've got a really, really light, it's a Sitka beanie, and I went so light because it can actually fit under my hat here, and then I could also use it, and it still fits perfectly fine under either hood, from my rain jacket, my Dorado sun hoodie, or my Arc'teryx. It all fits together perfectly. And then something new I've been gonna try out is these sealskin socks. I picked that up off of Darwin on the trail. So I've never used these before, but it's gonna be my spare pair of socks. So we'll see how that goes. And then, like I said, that all just goes up in my mosquito net. I've got my sleeping bag. This is an REI Magma 30, which I think will be plenty for most of the trail. Like I said, I'm starting in April, which is when the temperatures start to rise. So I don't think I'm going to need as heavy as a bag as say a 20 or 0 degree, even though it does get colder at night, and even though it's hotter during the day, even just getting down to say 60 at night, it'll feel colder to me. So I was going to bring my Sea to Summit reactor liner, but I decided against that, and instead I'm bringing my SOL Escape Bivvy. I've had this for years, and I've used it actually in the summer just alone. But it's basically got reflective aluminized nylon on the inside, and it weighs 8 ounces as opposed to 14. So I'm actually not going to use it as a bivvy. If I really need to, I'm going to use it as almost a vapor barrier, and I'm going to put this as I'm on the inside of the bag, and then have the actual main sleeping bag around that, so that I don't get any condensation inside the bag since it's down bag. But that's it. This is by far the lightest setup I've ever gone in, and I'm sitting right about 9 pounds with everything. We'll see how much the tarp weighs, but I think I'm still going to be ultralight. I think it's only going to be like 7 or 8 ounces. It's not going to be that much. So if any of you guys have any tips, anything like that, something you saw that I might need, let me know. The only thing I actually did forget, I do need to pick up a new little bamboo toothbrush. I'm just going to get one of those, but that adds hardly any weight. But that's everything. And once again, thank you guys for supporting the channel. I hope you guys will enjoy coming on this new adventure with me. It's going to be really, really exciting. So thank you guys for watching, and please hit like on the bottom of this video, subscribe if you guys are not already subscribed, and leave a comment. Really helps me out, helps the algorithms recognize me. So thank you guys again.